we got a little bit of... Okay. So what I was thinking is that the White Mage gets the best offensive spell in the game, Holy, but there's not really much reason to use it unless you've got another healer in your party. And so I've thought, well, what about a White Mage, Red Mage combo? And I don't like the Red Mage that much. No? Yeah, I missed the bus by about 30 seconds. Yeah, let's just name this guy something insane.
What time is it?
It is 7 minutes after 4.
You have to be there 5 o'clock, Brown.
Yeah, well, the 4:30 will be here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not gonna edit that out. Sitting at a bus stop talking to myself, and it looks, you know, people are gonna want to talk to you too. Sure. And then I've won. You know, I've never beaten this game with a warrior in my party because warriors are so expensive, or you have to find their stuff in dungeons, and I get it. I'm impatient with that. I'll just grind up the money and I'll buy it. So they're very expensive. And so what I was thinking is I've always wanted to do a... That's not the button I meant to press. Maybe what I'll do is I'll do something absolutely insane. And what am I doing wrong? There we go. Because what I've always wanted to do is I want to speed run to the what's it called, Rat's Tail, and the super classes, or whatever they call them, the hero classes. And the ninja's really cool when you do that. The black mage, they get black magic, and they're just really cool. But maybe... No, I'm gonna do it, because there's a chance... I don't know, I'm just gonna do it. And if I hate it, I can just always start over. And maybe eventually you guys will leave comments and watch, and you can tell me what you'd rather see me do. I have 1, 3, 6, and tactics, also chrono trigger. So now we get a little bit of a cutscene. I'm not really trying to tell you how to play the game. I just want to play it and talk to you. Probably about nothing. Because I am not alone. It's kind of rude to talk to yourself in public. But I can't live stream until I get 50 followers on Twitter. And for whatever reason, Twitch doesn't save when I stream. I've actually done this twice with different classes, and then I got bored with them. Like, it might be fun to do this with 2 white mages, a thief, and a monk is what I was thinking. But I've actually beaten the game with a thief, a monk, a black mage, and a red mage. And I've beaten it with a warrior, a monk, a white mage, and a black mage. So the monk is very clearly my favorite class because it doesn't take much. You give him haste and it's over. Every fight is over once you get high enough level, especially once you get the master class is what it's called. But the thief in master class, especially if you get really lucky and they level up well, you get good stats, they can be almost impossible to hit. And so what I think I want to do is I think I want to have the white mage, I want to have one of my white mages as a buff bot, and the other one has a bunch of offensive spells. Because as far as trash fights go, the white mages are actually pretty powerful. They're more powerful than the black mage, just as far as trash mobs go. So, didn't mean to go that direction, so that's a thing. But yeah, this is a game, man, I tell you what, when I was a little kid, when I was a little boy, this is the first video game I ever played. I was 4, something like that. And I watched my dad play it, and I was just so enamored of watching my dad play it that I had to play it too. You know, Well, maybe you don't know what it's like to be a little boy, but that's what it was like being a little boy for me, man. I wanted to do all the things my dad did because I just thought my dad was so cool, and this is one of them. And I remember when I didn't know how, or that I was allowed to hook up the NES after the SNES was put on the TV. So I thought the NES was broken for a long time. I didn't know that I could plug it in. What I used to do when I was a boy, I used to just sit in the manual that this came with this. It used to have the strategy guide for the first dungeon and maybe even the second town. And I used to just sit and read it and fantasize about how I would build my dudes and what I would give them, and I was a different kind of kid than you were, I guess, maybe. That's what I used to think about. There. Now I have one of them that can deal with the undead when I get to the next spot, and one of them, well, and they both can heal me, and one of them can throw out defensive magic, so that maybe I'm... My last playthrough was mostly just auto attack. And that's the thing, is like, I don't know. I don't want to just auto attack, but I also, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how I want this to look. I've never played this game while anyone else was watching before. And if I play Final Fantasy Tactics for you, which is something I would like to do, I would like to do that live, so I need somebody to either show up when I Twitch stream, which isn't your fault. You don't know I'm streaming. You're not following me, and I'm not on Twitter anymore, so even if you were following me on Twitter, you would have no way of knowing. And that's fine. I'm not mad about it anymore. Now that I've removed myself from all that social media, it's just a distraction. But once I've removed myself from that, now that I've removed myself from that social media distraction, I'm not, distracted anymore. And we'll do how it goes. We'll make the Discord channel, and the people who want to be a part of what I'm doing will be a part of what I'm doing, and they'll invite other people to be a part of what they're doing, and then it will be a thing that we're all doing all together, and it will be great. It'll be fantastic. But anyway, I'd like to play, thanks, Match. I'd like to play, Tactics, and I play Final Fantasy Tactics. I play all turn-based tactical games differently. So I'm not as good at them. But what I like to do is I just like the grind. I like to just max dudes out. And so what we can do is, for those who like Spiff and Brit or others, I can't think of any of the others, but I know Miniature Node is the only other one that I know. Something that they do is they offer to name their characters in game after people who follow them on the regular. So that's something that I would like to make available to you in one of these games. Maybe I do a run of one of these where we've got... that's so funny, I've got LL and DD, but anyway, I didn't even know I'd done that. Maybe I'll make a game where I play Final Fantasy VI and just rename all of my characters after all of my newfound friends and acquaintances or whatever. I don't know. All I know is that I want to be here for you. I'm going to be somebody that you can rely on to be useful and helpful to you in your day-to-day. And I need to turn on a setting. Just, that hammer is just so funny. Even with one hit, it just looks and sounds so funny. Hopefully I'm louder than the background music. Yeah, let me work on those two things, because this changed. Yeah, it did. Turn this all the way back up when I saved over, so you probably haven't even been able to hear me at all this whole time. And then the other thing that I want to do is I want continuous auto battle and cursor memory. I don't need any of this other stuff, I don't think. Yeah. if I wanted to. So, this game's not as difficult as it was when I was a boy. And so one of the things that I'm actually willing to do, if you enjoy watching the grind, and I like playing grindy games like this and listening to a book, or just with Final Fantasy, listening to the soundtrack and just going away into my thoughts. So I plan to do that as a talking to myself exercise with this, or The Tower, or any of the other games that I've mentioned, as a daily exercise, a daily way of reaching out to you with my thoughts, but also a daily way of meditating like a normal person. This is, I guess, my attempt at maintaining a certain amount of normalcy in my life. Normalcy from the perspective of people who are concerned about me being like them. I'm not concerned whether you are like me. I always suggest that you could be more like me, but I don't want you to be exactly like me. But other people are very concerned with that. Other people are hyper concerned with what people are like, and with other people being like them, or with them being like other people, because frankly, those people are afraid of the changes that become necessary if you notice that other people are different than you and successful. There becomes a feeling like you have to change to accommodate them, or you have to become the thing they are. In the same way that the NFL is a copycat league, life is a copycat exercise. I find that upsetting. But from the metric of, being copied means that you're something worth copying, people copying after me is frustrating and gratifying. And so now I'm trying to give back by copying people that I think are great, like the Neebs Gaming guys, like Many a True Nerd. I don't watch his stuff anymore, but he seems like the kind of dude who's got his shit together and knows how to give back to his community in a way that they feel satisfied, they feel fed, or I don't like Yahtzee, but Yahtzee, or Yahtzee Croshaw, or other people that I've spent time with. I for whatever reason, I can't remember his name now. The Spiff and Brit. I've spent a lot of time watching the Spiff and Brit live stream, even. And then Neebs Gaming. Neebs Gaming are always at the front of my thoughts as men that I would like to emulate. And so I was telling you that my favorite podcast, if you go back to the meta text of what I've said, the meta dialogue of what I've said in these podcasts at previous times, you'll know that I started and then kind of left off on what the Around the NFL podcast, my first favorite podcast, taught me. And that's kind of that you do need a committee of people. And so yeah, you can stream alone, but what makes the stream fun when you stream alone, not just for you, what makes it engaging, what makes it enthusiastic, what makes it great to view, to watch, is knowing that other people are watching and being able to experience them enjoying the same things you're doing. So you can find that in the comments here. I'm not going to do or say as many funny things. I'm not going to make as many mistakes. Like I'm not Neebs in that I'm not half good and half bad at video games. I'm unfortunately not going to be playing games that are really fast-paced enough for me to make a lot of funny type mistakes, but we don't know what's going to happen. Anything could happen. And so that's what this is about. This is about just stepping out on a limb and seeing what happens and hoping for the best and believing in you guys that someday someone somewhere will believe in me. So far so good. Loose with the dodge. That's what I wanted to see. I want this to be an evasion game. I don't think I said that outright to begin with, but I want this to be a high, why don't I know how much health they have? I want this to be a game where my guys have high evasion. They take very little damage at all. They just ignore it. And we're getting those two hits with the rapiers. I love that. Yes. Yes. This feels like this game is going just how I want it to go. I'll do this just to say I did it, but this next hit's gonna kill it. Oh! Look at me go. I feel like I actually know what I'm doing. Only 4 points of overhealing, and then check this out. I'm out of mana. What time is it? Almost time for my bus. I got about 8 minutes. When the bus gets here, I will tell you goodbye and jump off. Look at that. Look at that. I didn't have to get overpowered. You used to have to get to level 6 in order to do this fight. They have made this so much easier than it used to be. And so what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to tell you thank you for showing up and watching me play Final Fantasy. I'll probably do this. I would like to do this every single day of the week. Sundays are going to be difficult until I start making a little bit of cash, because everywhere that I hang out to charge my phone for free is closed on Sunday. So Sundays are going to be difficult, but Sundays might just be a day where I practice and embrace my own faith and my own spirituality, and it might just be a day that I take all the way off from civilization and just sit in the woods and be cold all day. If you don't know me, I am Shaggy, Philaletheia. That is a Greek word and a religious designation. It means lover of truth. And I am Shaggy in that I embrace the shaggy dog storytelling, and I am a homeless person. So I am going to get disheveled and shaggy soon, sooner rather than later. It's been about 2.5 weeks now. I love it. It's cold at night, and it's only going to get colder. These hurricanes hit the southern part of the United States at the exact worst point in the year for me, because they're going to make Ohio cold and wet, and I don't love that. But I am making it through the night. The worst part of the night is actually between 4 and 6, which is when, if I went to bed at an appropriate time, I should be waking up and I should be beginning my day. So everything is good. Everything is great. In fact, I'm very much enjoying being homeless. I'm enjoying walking the streets of Zanesville, Ohio, and getting to meet people. I love poverty culture. I always have. And I get to be a light for the kitchen that I go to eat, Christ's Table here in Zanesville. I get to be a light for those people. I get to watch their faces just light up with appreciation when I sincerely thank them. And I get to see which people are, I get to see which people avoid my thank you. They see it coming and they avoid it. So I get to see which people are paying attention and which people aren't. So I get to build a reputation, even among people who are building a reputation for kindness. I get to build a reputation for kindness. And I find that gratifying. I find it exciting. It's something I've always wanted. And in a city of this size, it's something that I can get. I have a church that I plan on attending every weekend, and once this cutscene is over, it will be close enough to time that I will be telling you thank you. You don't have to read this. If you don't know this game, I'm sorry that I'm skipping all the dialogue and I'm not talking to any of the NPCs.
I got the boot off.
Because I know where to go, and I know all this stuff, and frankly, if you don't, there have been walkthroughs and strategy guides since like 1986, so do better. I'm not that guy. I just want to speak truth. I want to let you get to know me in whatever way is comfortable for you, and for a lot of people, having something to visually watch while they use their hands so they can sit and snack or whatever is what they like to do. And so I am doing my very best to be accommodating and all of those various things to you, because I love you. I do. I deeply love you. Even the people recently that I've told have taught me to make them hate them. Hate is not the opposite of love. Love does not become hate. Hope becomes hate. When I look out in the world and I see how you could become better, and I tell you that I love you and I want you to be better, and you tell me to get fucked, you can do whatever you want, that becomes hatred. I need to destroy that version of you, but that doesn't have to mean that I have to kill you. It can mean exactly what it means. That you have to die in the spirit in order to become one in the flesh, and in order to become reborn to righteousness and goodness and love and all of those things which come with being enlightened and come with me. I've seen the light and I can take you there. Thank you very much. This has been Talking to Myself Gaming with Shaggy Filaliteo. Until next time, I am Shaggy. Keep your eyes open and your hands up. You never know what will be there to blow your mind, and it might be awesome. Take care, kids.